My name is BlueHead. I announced my candidacy for the presidency of the United States on October 1st, just a couple days ago. This is the third installment in a series of discussions with my compatriots across the United States. It will continue daily until November 6th. November 6th, Election Day for the presidency, is just 34 days from now. Again, I didn't write a script and I don't have a teleprompter, so please bear with me. So we can get down to business from this day forward. I'd like to clear the table of all the superfluous and confounding congestion that's pumped at maximum volume and maximum velocity into our minds and households through the various media conduits presently generating and distracting us from the issues. I think we can agree it's easier making a critical and effective decision without having a noisy environment. In my mind's eye, I'm picturing an assembly of my American associates in a conference room. And once everyone is accounted for, every demographic, every ethnicity, every American citizen, I picture walking over to the conference room door and closing it to the outside world, closing it to the media, and any potential source of unnecessary distraction. How can we make such an important decision with all this noise? What I want to talk about in this third installment is perception versus reality. Information and statistics relative to our economy, our foreign policy, our government policy, their actions or inactions, and too many other aspects in this critical season when politics are at front and center in the collective American psyche, are skewed and inaccurate, or they're manipulated to foster and support an individual agenda. Depending on where you get your news and information, what you see and hear is specifically designed to influence your thinking. Obviously, it's designed to influence your thinking with respect to the upcoming election. It's really that simple. Political alliances with media sources combine to favor one set of ideologies over another when an election of this magnitude is at stake. Statistics, for example. First, the media polls and the statistics. Statistics and numbers are only meaningful to average Americans like ourselves if we understand what they mean in terms of our lives and the lives of our families. For example, unemployment statistics or jobless claims. It's suggested virtually on every news channel that unemployment in the USA is hovering around 8.2%. To most people, 8% seems like a kind of a small number if you look at it in reverse context. So that means that 92% of our ready, willing, and able working population are gainfully employed. That doesn't sound too bad in a country of this size with an economy as large as it is. In actuality, the unemployment in this country is closer to 20% in real terms. So that 8% number is fictitious or misleading. If you count the millions of Americans who've paid their taxes their entire life but do not qualify for unemployment benefits, that includes millions of job creators like myself who created independent income, created hundreds, even thousands of private sector jobs, but have never collected a dime from our government or state when we reach a state of unemployment. The number 8% is simply a statistic based on jobless claims for unemployment benefits each week, each month, and each quarter. If you don't apply for unemployment benefits, you're not counted in the jobless statistic. Everyone must know, if we look across the population in the United States, that 8% number is almost laughable. Unemployment in this country is closer to 20% of the ready, willing, and more than able population section, which is willing and able to work. Most important, and more important than the statistics, the numbers, the platitudes, the eloquent linguistics, and the politically influenced streams of information force-fed to us each day, is our perception. Our perception of how robust and healthy or fatigued and de-energized our economy and our individual qualities of life might be at any given point in time. Forget the statistics, forget the smoke and mirrors, and forget all the trickery and media bias that forms the basis for all political campaigns. The only way, the one and only way we will feel America's at her absolute best is to make it so. Starting tomorrow, in BlueHead campaign installment number 4, we will tackle each specific issue without mincing words, without pandering or media bias. It will be the purest form of communication possible, directly to the American people. Stay tuned.